Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy, the Anime Alba here, coming at you with a very special video. This is titled, What If Shisui Trained Naruto? And this is part 1. Now, this video and series is the actual 1,000 to 2,000 subscriber special. This is something that I wrote myself personally, and it's going to be, I believe, is going to be different from a lot of other takes on this What If, specifically as we're starting in a different point in time. And so, with all the easy stuff out of the way, I don't exactly know how many parts this will be. Maybe 3, maybe 4, maybe 5, maybe more. I'm not sure. Bars. But, I hope you guys enjoy. I took a lot of time and a lot of energy to make this, and I hope that you enjoy it because this shit took a while to make. So yeah, with all that out of the way, like, comment, subscribe. I respond to all comments, heart all comments, and like all comments. I genuinely appreciate them, and I appreciate you guys, which is why we're doing this. Without further ado, cue the intro, please. Alright guys, so with all that introductory stuff out of the way, let's just hop right on into the video as I'm very excited for this. In this story, a lot of the early canon is kept the same as we go through very similar events. However, in this story there will be some changes made as we first shift over to Shisui, who we see talking with Itachi as his back is to the cliff. He still gives the same speech to Itachi as he tells him that he's his best friend. However, something in this story will change. That being that in this story, Shisui will not give his friend his eye. However, as in this story, he still loses one. But in here, he seals his Sharingan ability. He seals the Sharingan abilities of his eyes so as to not let them be taken. As when he dies, when his heart stops, the seal will break his eye, destroying it effectively. This is something that I'm changing for plot convenience. So he does this so Danzo doesn't get his hands on his eyes. As we now see Shisui fall back in a very dramatic scene, just as in the anime, with a smile on his face. However, in this story, and this is something that's going to change the course of the story forever, Itachi manages to grab onto Shisui's shirt, which changes the way that he falls. However, he loses grip on his friend as the momentum carries him back and he plummets. But that one grab will change this whole story as a whole. As we then shift over to Naruto's perspective, 1 week prior to these same events, as Naruto is being beaten and battered in an alleyway by a group of villagers mixed with some shinobi as they finish up beating him into a bloody pulp. After all this happens, Naruto attempts to crawl back home. However, as he finally reaches the exit of the alley, he passes out due to exhaustion with a mix of his injuries. Naruto wakes up in an unfamiliar place. Lying in a bed, he wakes up to the smell of food as it wafts in through the cracked open door. We see a lady open the door, seeming to be in her later 30s, early 40s. She then notices that the child is awake as she says, "I'm so glad to see you're awake. You had me worried there. I didn't know if you would wake up. It's been 2 days since I found you." Naruto was baffled by his newfound revelation, and he responds with a, "Miss, you saved me? Are you sure you should do that? Most people hate me. No one's ever helped me before. I don't know what might happen to you if they find out you helped me." The woman replies questioningly. As Naruto says, the villagers, they might hurt you if they find out you helped me." As she replies with an, "Oh, don't worry about them. They can't find us here as no one has ever come out in the middle of these woods. Also, we're not in the village right now." "Really? Oh, miss, I never asked for your name. I'd like to know the name of the lady who saved me." As she responds, telling him that her name is Yuwa Uchiha. As she says, she can just call him Yuwa, which is what we'll be referring to this character as. I added this character for convenience, as is going to connect the dots to the story to where we meet with Shisui later on. So, yeah. I really tried my best. I tried to write this as well as I possibly could. I'm not, I'm not very grammatically advanced. Like, my grammar is, whatever. But yeah, with that out of the way, let's just continue. Oh, well, it's nice to meet you, Yuwa, and thank you for saving me. My name's Naruto Uzumaki. And after this interaction, Naruto builds a relationship with Yuwa, as he stays with her for a while. He then packed up his important belongings and moved in with Yuwa. Through many conversations, we find out a few things about her past. That she is no longer part of the clan, as her late husband and ex-teammate was not a member of the Uchiha clan, which led to her exile. And that is one of the reasons why she lives in this forest near the river. We also learn that Yuwa was friends with one Tsunade Senju, and learned healing abilities with her, as she was a medical kunoichi who ended up falling for her teammate. As we cut forward to the end of the week, which corresponds with the day after Shisui's attempted death, he's laid up against a rock on the verge of death. He tries to enjoy what assumes to be his last moments as he lies in the river waiting for death. However, he passes out, thinking he's just died. He feels something or someone is yelling at him, incoherently, of course, as he's on the verge of death. As he thinks in his head, come on, dude, can't you just let me die in peace? The seal won't destroy my eye until my heart stops. He then loses the last ounce of strength and passes out, as we shift over to Naruto's point of view. He's been staying with Yuwa for a few days, and went to the river to collect water. As he saw something leaned up against a rock, out of curiosity he goes over, until he realizes that it's a person. Hey, are you alright? Hey, oh my gosh, what do I do? He's gonna die. Alright, Yuwa, yes, Yuwa said she's a healer. Let me bring him back to the house and see if she can help him, like she did with me. As he mustered up all the strength his little body can handle, dragging this mysterious man home, he noticed something. Wait, a headband, and it's got a leaf on it. Oh my, he must be a leaf ninja. He must have been attacked. We then cut to after Yuwa heals this ninja. He lays there after being healed on the verge of death for an entire week. As he flirts with death every day, we cut to the point when Shisui wakes up. Oh, my head. Where am I? Is this heaven? As he tries to open his eyes. Oh yeah, I lost my eye. Wait a minute, if I'm in heaven, shouldn't I have two eyes? What the hell is this? Wait, maybe I'm in hell then. I mean, my chest does feel kind of heavy. What is this, some sort of divine punishment? As he looks down on his Naruto with his remaining eye, he asks, what the hell, who is this? And why are they laying on me? As Naruto groggily wakes up. Now this was where I was gonna end it, but we're only 6 minutes in, and I want this to be a little longer. So I'm just gonna kind of spitball and continue with some ideas. So after this, and it's not gonna be as descriptive because I haven't typed this up, but I'm just gonna try my best. After this, Naruto wakes up groggily and he looks up, responding to as he sees the young man, asking him, well, not really asking, but more so surprisingly, he responds with, oh, he's awake. Yuwa, he's awake. He's healed. As Shisui's, he just doesn't understand what's going on or where he is. He's feeling confused, as he thought he was dead, but apparently he's not. Before the boy actually leaves the room, however, to go get the lady, who he can only assume is named Yuwa, he asks him what his name is and where is he. As he tells him that his name is Naruto Uzumaki and that they're sitting in the forest outside the village. He then remembers the name Naruto Uzumaki, as he did some research into it. Well, in the past, because if you know, Shisui was a ninja. So he knows, one, that Naruto's the Jinchuriki, but he was wondering why this child was in Jinchuriki. Shisui was a curious character, and I'm just going to say he knows why. And knows that he's the son of the fourth, which, yeah, is going to come into play later on in the story. I don't know exactly how long this part's going to be. I thought I wrote more, but apparently I didn't. So, as Shisui remembers this, Yuwa comes in, obviously, and that whole jazz, connects. As Shisui asks if they know anything about what happened to the Uchiha compound. Now, I'm going to say that after Shisui wakes up, this is after the Uchiha massacre. This is just for convenience sake, and the reason why he's going to stay with them, so as to train Naruto, which is going to be important to the story. So, Shisui asks if they know, and Yuwa says that she's not very up to date on village activities or events, so she doesn't know what happens to the Uchiha clan, and wonders why he why he would be asking in the first place. He then says that he has to go, but if something's happened, he'll be coming back, as he asks for the lady's name and introduce himself to them as Shisui. As Naruto, being the little kid that he is, because he was 7 at this point, asks him if he can call him Big Brother, right? So, Shisui responds with a yes, as Shisui was a kind-hearted dude, and he goes to check up on the Uchiha compound, as he notices that it's very empty, eerily so. There's no noise, not a single motion or movement. He then goes into the houses, seeing that, well, there's blood stained on all the floors. He can only assume what's happened, as he thinks to himself, "Oh, Itachi, why has it come to this?" He then returns to the house, where he sees Naruto sitting outside, just kind of like chilling. And they're just chilling there, as he asks if he can stay there because he doesn't want to go back to the village. Now, this is where Yuwa is going to tell Naruto to leave the room and ask to have a conversation with Shisui, obviously so that she can figure out why he was injured in such a manner and why there was actually ninja poison in his body. I'm just going to say poison is different from ninja poison, bro. Just for convenience sake, alright? So she asked that question. He gives the description, saying that he was attacked by root members and that he's actually a Jonin of the Leaf and was part of the Anbu Black Ops under the 3rd Hokage, and that the root is under a different person. He's telling her this information because he's got nothing to lose now. He can't return to the village because if he does, he's afraid that Danzo's going to try to steal his other eye, or that he's going to be killed as a traitor, because all the Uchiha were killed. He doesn't exactly know why, so he doesn't return to the village, right? And in my head, I personally think this connects a lot of dots, because, if Shisui returns to the village, right, and, talks to the 3rd Hokage, he doesn't know if the 3rd Hokage put out the order himself to murder all of the Uchiha, right? He doesn't know if that was his order and that Itachi was following it. So if he returns, he could be, ended up like that as well, or Danzo could take his other eye, which is something he doesn't want, obviously, for obvious reasons. So he doesn't return. As he stays there, Naruto asks him if he's a ninja. Being a child, Naruto has grown up admiring ninjas, specifically the 4th Hokage. As, he was neglected, that was, just his favorite spot in the village was on top of the head of the 4th Hokage. I don't know why a 7-year-old will be up there, but for convenience sake and plot, we're going to do that, okay? As Shisui responds, telling him he is a ninja, Naruto asks if he's strong, and he says, "I wasn't a Jonin for nothing." As Naruto asks if he can train him to be a ninja too, because he's supposed to go to the academy soon. Which, I'm not sure. Well, yeah, because Naruto was in the academy, but obviously he hasn't been going to the academy recently because of stuff, bro. And in this timeline, Hiruzen's not as... Like Hiruzen's very off the ball with his surveillance of Naruto. So he's not really paying attention and doesn't notice that Naruto's not in the village right now. He doesn't notice that he hasn't been going to the academy. So Shisui responds with a yes, and this is where we will cut forward a few until, the graduation exams. Now, during this period of time, Naruto made one friend in the academy and actually went back to the academy after a week of training with Shisui, because Shisui told him that it's important for him to go back to class and meet people his age. Now, in this story, the ship is going to be an Ino ship, because personally, I'm a fan of those ships, and I like them. And we're just going to have, some background detail and, where this is going to start off, where apparently, Ino's picking flowers, and some boys are messing with her, right? And they're just stomping on all the flowers that Ino likes. Now, this is after Naruto's been training with Shisui for a couple months. And so he's learned a few tricks, like some taijutsu. And, he's gotten a little faster and a little stronger because he's been training with him for a couple months. And so Naruto saves Ino, apparently. Well, not really saves Ino, but stops the boys from trampling on the flowers, as, him and Ino become sort of friends, right? Through this interaction, they become friends. And this is where, I'm going to connect that romance portion. I gotta kind of write something in there for that. I'm not exactly sure where that's gonna go, but we'll figure that out later on. Kind of just improv off the top of the head, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. So during these couple years where Naruto, the 5-year time span where he's trained by Shisui, he learned a few tricks. One of them is the Uchiha style Halo dance, which is a pretty popular move that Shisui uses with the sword, where he sends the sword slashes of fire. So Naruto's actual affinities are wind, fire, and lightning. Those are what he, is good at. He learns the Uchiha style taijutsu and kenjutsu, as well as Naruto dons a sword, right? The little sword on his back that Shisui has, he actually was given to him. Shisui gave him his sword as a present for graduating the academy. That's what I'm going to say. Now, during this time period, Naruto learned a couple jutsus, as Shisui taught him the Shadow Clone Jutsu, knowing that he has the Nine Tails in his Uzumaki, as he's going to have a hard time controlling his chakra because it takes, he has so much that he can't just pull a little droplet out. So he teaches him the Shadow Clone Jutsu. He teaches him the Kenjutsu, the Uchiha style Halo dance, the body flicker, as well as Naruto is pretty proficient, but he's not as good as Shisui, obviously, because Shisui's been doing that jump for years. And he learned some things that I personally made up. So the first and foremost is going to be something called a thunder step, which is where it's a mix between the body flicker and lightning chakra pushed into the feet to speed up the person. So what this does is helps Naruto control the direction of his body flicker, seeing as how he doesn't have a Sharingan that can slow down time. He points the lightning step in a certain direction and uses the body flicker, which then puts him in that direction. This is what it's called. It's called thunder step. And another thing he learned is called lightning punch, which is basically, again, wrapping the chakra around. He kind of like, in this story, more good with like ninjutsu that enhances taijutsu, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like fire abilities that are used to enhance, not so much like other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like obviously in the future, Sengan, all that jazz, all the good stuff. But what I'm saying is he's more proficient in enhancement ninjutsu as opposed to like fire style, fireball jutsu. You know what I'm saying? Like stuff like that. So yeah, he learns those couple moves. He learns a couple more, but they're not very important, as he graduates top of the. Well, he actually graduates second in the class behind Sasuke, right? So in this story, I'm gonna say that Naruto is stronger than Sasuke at this point in the story, but he's still he's very lax. He takes on a personality more so like Shisui, where he's a fun-loving, caring guy, and he's lax. However, when he needs to turn it on, he can be serious as well. That's the personality I'm going to say he adopts. Adopts the personality of his big brother. As things go swimmingly and he graduates the academy, he is put onto a team. Now, in this story, I'm going to have him replace Choji because he's not at the bottom of the class. And in this story, Shikamaru is the bottom of the class, right? So as opposed to the original where Naruto was the bottom, Sakura was the mid, and Sasuke was the top, which put them all together. Now Naruto's second in this story, so he's going to be placed with one of the bottom students, which I'm going to say is Shikamaru, and he's on Ino's team, right? That's for convenience's sake. And we're just going to have Choji be on Team 7. So, yeah. And that's going to change a lot. But I gotta write this up and I gotta like plan this junk out. I don't know exactly how long this video is. I think it's like a couple, like 15 minutes or something like that. But I'm also having a hard time thinking of stuff. And I don't want to start off like an important, fun part when I haven't scripted it or written it. I'll do a lot more scripting in the next video. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm sorry for this being a short one. This series is not going to be too long, but I'm going to try to split it up and pace it a little better, I know. But this is my first time trying it, so I apologize if there were any mistakes or mishaps on my part. I hope you guys enjoyed nevertheless, and I hope you look forward to another part. If this video gets 20 likes, bro, I'll post part 2. And if it doesn't, that's totally fine. We'll do something different. I hope you guys enjoyed again. And yeah, without further ado, this is your boy, the Anime Ambu, and I am out. Deuces.